still get about 10, 15 bushels out of that. Maybe even 20. Good golly. So there you go. That is starting to look like the finished product. So the second wire is laying there. And it's not like I'm doing this specially. I have 2 power wires. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to get standouts. Either bought ones, I'll see what they cost. Or I'll just make some. And yeah. And a lot of people are like, well, what's the point? Like, you got 4-strand barbed wire, that's plenty enough for the cows. Well, I need the hot wire on top to carry power to my paddocks and my strip grazing that for now will still be electric. Later down the road, the paddocks might be more permanent fences, but right now they're still electric, 2-strand electric. So that's why I need that wire. Now, people will be like, well, if you get 2-strand power here, why don't you just go with 2-strand power? Well, this is where my tinfoil hat comes out. And yes, it might be a little tight. You all know what's going on right now with electric vehicles, solar, decommissioning, coal-fired plants. If we start to have issues with electric supply and rolling blackouts, do you really want to be relying on electric fences that might switch off? And we all know how young stock and calves like to test fences on a daily basis. Well, this way I should never have to worry about that, because I've got lots of fence and I've got lots of backup. So, call it tinfoil hat, but like I said, I see the writing on the wall or on the fence. If we start having power issues, I don't want to be chasing a herd halfway across somebody's crop. So that's why I'm going with 4-strand barb and power. Yeah. Peace of mind. So the background is, this saw is old, it's done a lot of work. It wasn't running, having issues. So I dug into it. It was getting a little beyond me. I don't know a lot about chainsaws. Took it to the local Husqvarna place. They said the carb rebuild kit was about 40 bucks. And their shop rate is $150 an hour. So we're going to be $200 into it before they even know if they can get the machine working. So I bought a new saw, bigger saw, but I didn't want to just let this one go. As you can see, there's a bit of wire here because the choke lever had gotten broken at some point. So I went onto the old eBay and looked for a carb kit. Well, so here's the carb kit. That's not all. So the package that I ordered got me the carb kit, fuel line, fuel filter, the little boot, the actual choke lever, as you can see, the part that was missing, the throttle linkage, which I didn't need, but it was in the package deal, and a new gasket for the carb for $50. Great deal, eh? And a whole brand new carb for $50. So I have a carb kit and a fully ready to go carb. Now, it was 20 bucks shipping. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure fuel filter on mine's was gooned. The fuel line is pretty degraded because any of the ones I looked at on online, they talk about how the fuel line starts to disintegrate. This one has definitely started to deform. Like, this part is very thin compared to the part that wasn't in the fuel. So, and then the fuel filter is pretty minging. So I'll replace the fuel line, the fuel filter, and then I'm just going to switch out the carbs. And then that way I can just rebuild that one with the kit. Install the new choke lever, and we should be miles ahead at that point. No, literally the only thing that did not come with this kit was a spark plug. And that spark plug isn't that old, so that's cool. So anyway, back to the job at hand. So I'm going to start trying to get this put back together. It's like 7 degrees outside and it's starting to rain. So I literally, if you look, yeah, get the toque on. Anyway, get doing this. Mum is doing really good. To on her. It's taking a lot out of her, but now we have a new baby and the second timers. I'm gonna go and grab her and put her in here because they're all gonna be huddling up in here and I don't want the baby to get stooped on. And that's why we kept that big bag of oats back as the treats. So you get, because she doesn't want to go back out to the field right now and leave the babies, and she needs to eat to keep up on these little, they're not very big, but they're decent sized for twins. And yes, Bull, because his number is in the left ear, data tag's in the right, and the heifer, because her number tag's in the right and data tag's in the left, and she gets a data tag because she's not staying, no possible way. So yeah, this is Gunner. And so now we're starting to see the Hereford Bulls babies with this group, because we switched the bulls out early August last year to do cleanup. So obviously Gunner didn't catch with Vaticus, who was our black Angus bull that was with these lot before he died. So yeah, we switched them out. So now we're starting to see brockles, which is nice because we've been looking to see them, but this is a boy, so he's a good little gadgy. Still fresh. Gunner's really nice. There's my queenie. I think there she is. There's Tank. You can tell by the dip in her back where her pelvis broke. So Tank has really come around. She's doing very good, very strong. But her one faraway pin bone has never come back up. So yeah, she has to go. But it's kind of poetic. She's feeding her baby. And she was still here in time to see her grandson born from her daughter, second birth. She's a second timer. She's a true second timer, 3-year-old. She had a baby last year. So she's a real good commercial cow. Like I said, I like to keep the Tank line. So yeah, this is Gunner. Gunner will be staying. Gunner will be taking on Tank's number when Tank leaves at the end of the year. So, ironically enough, this weekend when Liam's home, what we were going to do was we were going to walk there. We were going to walk Stumpers and Squirts over to the old lady's pen, because Stumpers is on her last year, but Squirts is not, but she's going over there so she doesn't go back to the bull this year. We think she's in cab, but we don't want her to get bred again. We want her to take a year off because twins last year took a lot out of her, and because she's a family cow that will never leave this farm. That's a done deal. So yeah, we're gonna give her a year off to recuperate if she has a calf. If not, she'll go back to the bull again if she doesn't carry this year. Anyway, so what the plan was, setting up panels, we're gonna walk all of the youngsters, including Queenie, because she is technically a youngster. She's gorgeous, aren't ya? So yeah, all the 3-year-olds and Queenie will walk across the road and go into that pen that Stumpers and Squirts are in right now. And that'll just leave the older girls and then 81 and her baby. You know, she's not an older girl, but she pulled a wing nut on us. So I think there's 4 in here. Between Ike, Butters, Tank. Oh, and Eddie's mum. Where's Eddie's mum? She's here somewhere. That might be her down there at the bale. So there's 5 cows, 4 cows with calf at foot. So they will, from this pen, they will go out and go to the forever pen where Stumpers and Squirts will be. And then as the older ladies in that pen, as they calve, who has ever still left a calve, they will then go to the forever pen by the house. And then whoever's not in calve at the end will make a decision on if they're special enough to stay, as one is bulling, and who not, they'll go in the trailer off the sorting area here. So okay, now you're caught up. Isn't that right, queens? Stunner, absolute stunner. She comes from a very special bloodline too, the DQ line. That's why she's called Queenie. DQ. Anyway, done nerding out. Oh, look at that. You could say that there's cattle perfection. And yeah, that's why we're keeping 75 here in this pen with the first timers, who will be the second timers, is that she doesn't have to do a lot of walking, and she doesn't have to stress out looking after these two because they can't go far from her. We just figured if there is cows that want their twins, we'll do this. We'll put them in here and let them summer with the youngsters and a bull. That way it doesn't take as much out of them, because Echo that's out there, the reason we took Echo off of her mum with twins is because mum was paying no attention to Echo. So we made that decision. But this lady here wants both of these. She made that abundantly clear. She never tried to take me out, but she let me know she was not going to give any up. So we go with the cow. Anyway, let's get on. We've had 3/4 of an inch of rain so far in Brandon, and up north in Riding Mountain National Park it's white. And we're having a little bit of snowflakes, but mainly just rain. So, and you can hear the babies out in the field are absolutely scunnered. It's cold and it's blowing, so yeah, it's gonna be fun. Chores, puddles again. Whoo, man, we should have a few bales this year. That's fun. Wet snowflakes on the 24th of May. Really, Mother Nature? Give it a rest. All the animals will be eating twice as much today. Wind chill of -4. The wind has dropped down a good chunk right now, so at least there's that. Ay, ay, ay. Manitoba, truly, wait a minute and the weather will change. A little bit white. This is definitely not the conditions you want when you're out fencing. I got my waterproof gloves, at least, so my hands are not getting wet, because they get wet, they get cold. But so there you go. snow is sticking a little bit, but it's supposed to stop here in the next hour or so. Oh, the new old fence is almost gone. There's a couple of posts still in the slough to get, but I'm a little worried right now with the amount of marcia we've had about getting this tractor stuck, because that would be bad. So get done what we can get done. There's our first inhabitants, Squirtsy and Stumpers. Haven't cabbed yet though, but they're not far off. Stumpers is really not far off. But yeah, look at this. 4th time this spring flooded. It's just nuts. It's stupid nuts. Ugh. Show you what we got to the other side. There we go. So we got Tank, her baby, Ike, her baby, Butters, like 81 and her baby, and Eddie over there, and her baby is somewhere around here. And all the youngsters are now over here. So we get Queenie, and then all the rest are 3-year-olds. There is Gunner's baby. I don't know where Gunner is. But we're keeping Gunner and baby in here for a couple of days because it is such a mess out in the field. An absolute mess. So the babies are just as well being in here. So there's one of the 3-year-olds we're pretty sure will not be staying, Maisie, but we'll see. And then like Cinco there, number 5, she's not staying, and there's a couple of older cows in this pen that will definitely not be staying. And they're not calving. We know Cinco's not calving because she had a calf. So there will be a bunch that will be going straight on the trailer, and then afterwards, there's Gunner there. Afterwards, they'll be going on the trailer at the end of the year. So anyway, nice to get that job done. So I was all hands on deck. Mrs. Piper, Doug, and Liam. Got the panel set up here, panel set up there, just in and around. So that's one of the projects that we'll be getting done this year, is we're pouring a concrete pad here and building a little shed over pen, maternity pen, and pen here. And then there'll be a gate here for the tractors to get into this pen, so that way that the maternity pen will be up on a pad and not in the gitters. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go and set up the pump in the lagoon because the drains have stopped running. That's awesome. These Goombas still fighting. I tell you, it's almost funny. That pump used to be the water pump for the sprayer for the farm, the big grain farm. And it got retired because it was acting up. And so they bought a 3-inch pump. That's a 2-inch Honda. Bought a 3-inch Honda for the farm, and that got sold with the farm auction. I decided to keep the 2-inch pump and see if I could work on it because it was locked up. So basically I put a little bit of diesel into the cylinder, just a little bit, let it sit for a little while, tried to pull it, and of course it was locked up hard, broke the string. So I recorded the pull start. It's not that hard, a lot of people can't do it. It's actually fairly simple, and sometime I'll maybe show folk, or you can look it up on YouTube, there's lots of videos. Anyway, so how did I get the pump to free up? You put that jaw into one of the openings that the spring-loaded chub on the pull thing. You put that into there, and then you hit that end with an adjuster. And as soon as you start kind of getting it to be broke free, usually sometimes you got to do some little attitude adjusting. You bolt the pull start back on, it will move, and that Honda just fires right up. And almost every year when we go to pump out the lagoon, it's locked up. You knock it loose, you start it up, it doesn't smoke. Once it's moving, it runs like an absolute Swiss watch. And you know, One of the reasons why it will stop running, low oil. It uses a bit of oil. It's old. It's done hundreds if not thousands of hours. Because I know it does a couple of hundred hours in this lagoon every year. We were hoping not to pump this lagoon out with the mamas and babies out here, but pans are backing up because we've had so much flinking moisture. So we're going to pump it down till these drains run free, and then we'll stop and then let these guys get over. The plan is to eventually have it where we irrigate out onto that silage field, but that's a fairly big investment, so we got to get everything else caught up first. So yeah, this isn't good. Very clarty. So yeah, there you go. We got a locked up motor. Just get inventive with an attitude adjuster and a big wrench. Yeah, this is all got to get cleared up. Maybe once the surprise for the skid steer arrives, we can clean all of this up. Yeah, you. Doing my own. There's one of my sticks laying in the mud. Oh, good. Awesome. So yeah, now we play the waiting game. Might just get to a point where we'll just run these girls into the sort area, set up the crush and do a preg check. Or I could probably just stick my arm in there and figure out who's in cab and who's not, because they should be all close who's going and who's not. So yeah, okay, supper time. These my stumpers. You all know what that means, and I don't want to get too graphic. Look at that big bull calf. Yeah, I know, Mama. You did so good. Absolute stunner. Yeah. And there's the nurse superior, just waiting in the wings, watching everything going on. Hey, wee buddy. Where you going? He's already had a drink. I tell you, he's gonna be on the full cream for a while. Like I said, Stumpers is a 2,000-pound cow, so you can do the math on that boy. He's probably all of 100, if not 105. Hey, buddy. You go in there. Right there. Right there, buddy. No, right there. No, he's not. He coming back? I'll tell you. Get up 200 of these. There you go, wee man. Come on. Yeah, he is fresh out the oven. You wanna a hand? No. Oh, don't fall. Don't fall, buddy. Leave it to it. He already has figured it out. Like I said, he is fresh out of the oven. So yeah, this is our Stump's last addition to the herd. Big lad, which is good. She's already got a couple of daughters in the herd, so yeah. And did it back here in the shade. I know it's kind of a little bit busy in here, but I'm sure they'll be okay as long as he doesn't poke himself on these branches. But what are you thinking, Skirts? She's not far behind her, but oh, he's taking off. You be careful, wee man. Going on a dafty. Newborn zoomies, if you can imagine that. I know, sweetie. She's getting her lunch in. Hey, wee buddy, you get right in there. You got lots of milk to drink. Leave you be. How are you doing, Chief? So yeah, the plan is to eventually clean this up, because our electric fence is there. The old yard fence is there. My plan is to clean all these lower branches off and put our 4-strand barb along these evergreens. Yeah. It's either that or I'll put the fence here and start a new row back here. Because once these big cottonwoods start coming down, there'll be more sunlight coming through these trees, because these branches don't start till higher up. So we can get the new row started back here and the new row of cottonwood started out there. I don't know if I ever showed this, my subscribers this. It was quite good thinking on the part of whoever was put this in here. Talk about a grove. Like 20 years ago when we bought the place, this was absolutely amazing. Now these trees are starting to age out and come down, and there's a few widowmakers hanging around here, but you get the idea. Yeah. Like I said, it'll be sad when taking these cottonwoods down, but they have to come down. They're done. But we'll start a new row out here. Yeah. Jolly good. I think I've got whatever is in the pipe finally down to here. Now if that's true, then now I can push it out to there. But step one. Guys, it's done. It is done. It is done for now. Famous Piper Doug words, eh? Oh gosh. So, where did we get to? Well, you'll notice the wire's on the outside of that box. So that's how it will stay for now. Because I'm going to order new wiring harness for both sides. I have to find out what all options I can get for this, because I need to know whether this can run a scrubber, like a bush scrubber. That way I know that if I have the switches and the wiring loom for it. I removed the switches from this side because the one that runs that fan motor, it broke during take apart. The little turny guy that was on it, when I was undoing the lock and grub screw, the whole thing just snapped right off. So I don't know whether it was just age or it had been fixed or glued before. So I just left everything in there as detached. That I don't there's nothing in there that I need anyway. Everything I need is here. There's a button on the back here which runs, is it the button on the back? Runs the remotes. And then the button on the back of this one runs the high-low transmission. So outside of that, she is ready to rock and roll. Yeah, I ran it just a bit there. Everything seems dry as an Arab sand shoe. Sorry if there's any Arabs watching this, but I'm pretty sure if you check your sandal, it's pretty dry. So, oh yeah, I forgot, I still got a broken headlight. I'm gonna put a light bar here though. So at least this thing can actually go to work now, because this has jobs waiting on it, i.e. piling in the pans, because we need to start getting the pans drained and dried. They're in a heck of a mess and the bugs are starting to build up, so this guy's going straight to work. And like I've said in the previous video, hopefully the surprise is going to be here, which he's going to use. And I got to do some cleaning up. Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of spare parts left over. I didn't bother putting all the little boots and stuff back on for those switches on that board. I didn't put the gator back on the throttle bar because the wiring harness comes up through there. These are the little turny switches, which I don't use. So they'll just go in a box for now, don't need them. And then I don't know, there's just spare parts. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, onwards. Gotta clean that up. And to any of the companies out there that make rubber boots, welly boots, muck boots, whatever you want to call them, contact me. Because I can't find boots that will last. And if you want your boots tested, you contact Piper Doug. Piper Doug wears rubber boots every day of the year. There is a short period of time in the middle of summer, like haying season, I might put on work boots. But if not, I wear welly boots every day of the year. I have insulated welly boots I use in the wintertime. Sometimes I'll use a snow boot, but not very often because I don't like how cumbersome they are. If not, I wear welly boots, and before you all ask, I do not have sweaty feet. I don't know, but I'm just weird that way, but I do not. Anyway, and yes, the reason for that is, at any given point and any given day, I have no idea if I'll be standing on dust, muck, water, liquid poop, or all of the in-betweens. So, like I said, if you are in the business of making welly boots, rubber boots, muck boots, contact me. I will test your boots and I will give an honest feedback because they will be tested. I usually go through at least 2, if not 3 pairs of rubber boots in a year, and outside of them failing, yeah, I might go through more. So, there you have it. That's a nice view to have from your living room. Okay, so this is kind of what the finished product looks like. Gives you a bit of an idea. I've still got to run these bits over to the other side, and then I still have to run the insulators at the decision pole that goes south down the ravine. But yeah, this is what you're getting. This is what the boundary fences are all going to look like. That's the thing, is this year we were supposed to be doing a trip back to Scotland. It's not looking like it right now, but depends how much I can get done before we get deep into haying season, and even then probably with a lot of Liam's help and whatnot, if I can get as much, because this fence is to do, that fence is to redo, and then there's a fence down near the bottom that needs like a real going over, a whole bunch more posts and a bunch of work. We'll see what happens, but yeah, this year is going to be not a lot of free time for the old Piper Doug, and for the whole family to that matter. But we will definitely be heading back next year. That is an absolute. The problem is, just with working at the other farm and the sale happening, there's 10 years worth of fencing that's fallen behind on this farm. That's just it happens. It happens on a farm that's not a lot of people and a lot of acres and a lot of business and yada yada yada. Excuses. So, and that's the thing, is I don't mind fencing. Fencing is something I actually enjoy doing. The problem I have is I am bouncing from doing chores, still calving some cows. That's kind of one of the reasons why at the end of this year we're going to have a bit of a purge. So a lot of the older cows are leaving, and then we're actually going to go through the herd and pick out the cows that we're not favorable with, that will be bred. We'll do preg checks on them, and then they will get sold at the end of the year. So yeah, so that will help lessen my workload so I can get all of these things done. So, oh, here's another person coming. A lot of people drive by. Anyway, I'm gonna go get to the other end. Okay, Yeah, I know I still haven't swept up the floor. So, yeah, like I said last night in one of the previous clips, this thing is, for all intents and purposes, ready for the road. It's going to need some work once everything's all caught up and we do have our other loader tractor back. I'll fill you in on that in the next video. Yeah, it's still at Jody's and it's still in a million pieces. Anyway, so tonight was just mucking around. People were like, well, what on earth is that monstrosity Piper dug? Well, because of my disability, i.e. my lower back, because I got a lot of fencing to do and because I've done a lot of fencing, when you're going along and nailing up stuff and putting on insulators and things like that, there's an awful lot of bending up and down. You set the buckets down, you grab the stuff, you stand up, you nail it up, you bend down, you pick the buckets up, you move on, you put the buckets down. So this is the first draft of my little bucket caddy. Because it's not like I carry the big massive buckets full of fencing staples and whatnot. I usually have buckets not even as big as this. See if I have any kicking around here. I have the little, I think what you'd call a 2-liter pail. They're small. They're not even as big as those antifreeze things. Anyway, so you get the gist of it. I have the insulators in one, and then I have a couple of hundred staples in the other. I just walk up, stick it down, grab what I need, do the fencing, move on, stick it down. So, like I said, this is sort of a first round make of it. If it's not strong enough, I've got a whole bunch of 1-inch square tubing, which means it'll be heavier. But at least then I'll know it'll be strong. So we'll take this out for a test drive tomorrow and see if it'll do the job. Yeah, I thought about one of those golf bag carts with the wheels, but places I'm going, it wouldn't last. So I figured this will be. It doesn't owe me anything. It's just an old piece of rebar that was pulled out of something. I don't know. It literally has concrete on it. So as you can see. So I'll let you know how it goes. So yeah, thanks for clicking on the video. I have no idea. So yeah, this is good, I think. And we'll keep going. And I hope to see you next week. And I hope you all have a great week. Tidy bye, everybody.